It's that time of the year where we celebrate 2022 and all the great beer that we've drank this year. So today's review is my top 10 breweries of 2022. Welcome back to Rocker's Beer Review. Today we're going to be doing a top 10, but it's not music related, it's beer related. This is my top 10 breweries of 2022. It's been a great year. We've had some really good beers, and it was quite easy for me to put together my top 10, but I realised that when I compared it to last year, there was a few breweries that didn't make the cut this year. There's a few new breweries that come in. So without further ado, let's go from 10 to 1 for my favourite breweries of 2022. So in 10th position is Quantock Brewery. These are a brewery based in Somerset, down in the southwest of the UK. I don't see many people review them on YouTube. They're not a big brewery, they're not a big drank brewery, certainly from other YouTubers, but I really like them. Usually I buy their stuff locally here to me in Chester, because my bottle shop sort of usually gets quite a lot of their stuff in. Everything I've had from them has been great. This year, no exception. They do single hop beers, which have been very good. Their New England IPAs are really exceptional, and the value for money, they're really great. So I think they're worthy, and they come in at number 10. So that's Quantock Brewery. In 9th position, it's a new one. They're a pretty new brewery. This is Asvez. They're a Liverpool-based brewery. I've had lots of great beers from them. All of them have been good. Nothing really sort of blown my mind, but again, consistently good beer, and I think they're worthy of my top 10. So they're in 9th position. In 8th position is another brewery that didn't make it last year, and that's Gravity Well. These are East London based, spacey sort of themed artwork. You've seen quite a few reviews of their beers on the channel this year, and all of them have been pretty damn good. Again, big makers of New England IPAs, my favourite style, and they make them really well. But I think they're a really consistent brewery. If I was going to change anything about them, it would be to make some of their artwork slightly more different. Although it's all about, obviously galaxies and space and everything, it's difficult to pick out which ones are which, because they all look the same in terms of their can. But they make very, very good beer, and they're worthy of 8th position. In 7th position, and again, I don't even think these were in last year, Beak Brewery, based down on the south coast, exceptional beers. When it comes to their artwork, they're very identifiable, very sort of like a cartoon sort of imagery. But I've had some really great beers, and some of the best IPAs were Beak beers this year. 7th may seem like a bit low down, but I think in terms of the beers that I've had, they're definitely one that will probably start moving up the table in subsequent years. They're a very good brewery, very consistently good brewery, and they make 7th position. In 6th position, another new brewery, Sure Shot, out of Manchester. They basically came from nowhere, but I've had some really great beers from them. Pales, IPAs, been very, very good. Some of the best beers I've had from them. They do quirky sort of name themed and artwork on their beers, but I think they're a really great beer. They've got great mouthfeel, and for me, they're definitely worthy of the top 10. So in 6th position, Sure Shot Brewery. In 5th position is a brewery that for me has lost a little bit of its sparkle, but it's still worthy of top 10 and a top 5 position, and that's Daya. Yeah, I mean, I had a couple of beers from them that weren't great. I've had a couple that have been good, and I've still had the odd great beer as well from them. Definitely worthy of being in my top 10, but before they were in my top 3, but they've just sort of come out of that. So in 5th position, Daya. In 4th position, Vault City. I mean, I'm not a huge lover of sour beers, but if I'm going to have a sour beer, I'm going to have it from Vault City. I don't think any other brewery can get close when it comes to modern sour beers, and Vault City are the masters. They keep coming up with new ideas and new interesting beers, always taste absolutely amazing. Some great beers from them. Certainly their chocolate raspberry cheesecake was absolutely superb, a brilliant, brilliant beer. And I think that's why they're in my top 10 and in my top 5 in 4th position, Vault City. In third position, I suppose this is the one that's, obviously they've taken the third position from Daya, but I think they're more than worthy. And in third position, Northern Monk. They make the best supermarket beers, in my opinion. I don't think there's another brewery that really gets close to Northern Monk in terms of very good supermarket beers. Certainly their Faith in the Futures, the second edition, the one they did with the Sabro hop in the white can, probably one of my favourite supermarket beers. But their patrons projects are really good. They do lots of different quirky things. They've got different types of ranges, with different types of beer within those. And I think they make exceptional beers, and I think they're consistently good. Yeah, you get a couple that aren't quite there, certainly when they use like adjuncts in their beers, different like your purees and stuff like that, then they don't work. But they don't work across all the breweries. And I suppose there may be someone like someone, and they do a wide berth of different beers that they've got to sort of try these different styles. I mean, the stouts are really good. I'm not a massive stout fan, but I know their stouts are good. Ones I've had have been very good. But for me, their IPAs, their pale ales are always very good. And their patrons product stuff is some of the best beers out there. So I think they're worthy of now entering my top three, especially the supermarket stuff as well, being, just consistent across all different types. And I think that's what makes them a very good brewery. So Northern Monk in third position. My top two, they haven't really changed from last year. So in second place is Verdun, another Southwest brewery. Brilliant beers, absolutely brilliant beers. Great mouthfeel, got their own sort of style. They have that slightly sort of savoury twist to their beers, which may seem weird, but for me works really well. Certainly, I think they make some of the best beers using New Zealand hops, which are some of my favourite hops. And I've had great beers from them, consistently great beers, and that's why I'm putting them in second position. And in first position, even though we had a little bit of a mishap with that cashmere hopped beer from Pollys, Pollys have to be my number one brewery. Again, I could go out and buy 12 Pollys tomorrow and I'd love them all. I think that they make lots of different beers. They're all very good. They have their own sort of style, but they're just the sort of beer that I like, and they consistently make it. Pale ales, they're the best. For me, they're the best brewery to make pale ales. I know what I'm going to get, and I'm going to get a good pale ale from them. Whether it's double dry hop pales, normal pales, their IPAs, their double IPAs are all very, very good, and they consistently make lots of different beers, and they churn out lots. Their artwork's brilliant, and I just think they're worthy. And they're my number one brewery for a second year in a row. So, Pollys, number one, what do you think? What do you think of my top 10? Have I missed any sort of ones out? I mean, there's certain breweries that missed the cut this time, like Overtone, like Arbor Ales. They were certainly in it last year. Rivington, another one. So there's a few that have missed the hit. Maybe it's just because I haven't had as many of those beers as I have some of the ones that are in the top 10. But for me, this is a pretty good top 10. And I'm going to be interested to see what breweries are going to come from nowhere in 2023, whether these can keep up their consistency to make it can still stay in my top 10. But let me know in the comments, what are your favourite breweries of this year? What are your favourite breweries ever? What's your go-to? What's the one that you think, yeah, they can do no wrong? I always know if I'm going to get a beer from them, it's going to be great. Let me know in the comments below. Hope you've enjoyed this top 10. Obviously, we've got a few of these sort of 2023 highlights coming. This is the first one. Hope you've enjoyed it. And until then, please like and subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. If you like the content I'm providing, then it really helps if you give it a thumbs up, helps the channel get seen by more people, blah, 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 blah. All YouTubers say that, but it's true. And until then, next one, Happy New Year and keep on rocking.